Hello and welcome to Crafting with Jane. My name is Jane Allmark and we're continuing on with the acetate theme. So I started this card yesterday and was showing you on my last video of doing this sort of floating circle. And we also did, and I finished it off with these circles. Now I stopped it where I'd just done the one blue, but it didn't look quite right. So I've added another couple of circles and then just finished it off with a few little tiny hearts. Again, there are so many ways you can get little hearts and things. This was actually out of a really old punch, but we've got, there's dies and all sorts of things. Just little hearts or any little tiny shape. You can use embellishments if you want. I'm trying to keep away from those sorts of things. And as I say, that's how it finished. So I thought I'd show you in real how it had finished before we go on to the next one. So if you remember, I at the same time did a strip and I've actually started cutting it up because I didn't like it. So I had done another one, which again on the acetate, all I'd done, look back on the last video, you'll see it. If you're a subscriber of mine, you'll know about it anyway. And what I did was it was one piece, but it was all, I hadn't put the pieces straight and I didn't like it. I tried trimming it up, didn't make any difference. Don't try trimming it. And I actually used a guillotine cutter to try and do it, but you can see it's quite difficult to do it because we've done it on corrugated cardboard like this. It's quite thick, so it doesn't go through there very well. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to cut it up with scissors, and I'm going to cut up different sized pieces, and we're going to play with this and see if we can do something, because I hate throwing projects away. So this is how to do something when you've made a mistake and you're thinking, well, I should just stick this in the bin, and then you go, well, actually, let's see if we can do something with it. Whether it'll work, I don't know. It's an experiment, but I enjoy doing stuff like this. I enjoy doing crafting and stuff where you start with one idea and you finish with something else, and you're not quite sure even how it's going to end up, but you think, well, let's give it a whirl. Let's see what happens. So we're making sort of not quite square, not quite, they're all sorts of different shapes. I think that one's probably a bit big. These look about the right sort of size, I think. I'm going to cut this one in half because it looks a bit big. So, and I'm doing it with scissors because, as I say, it's just not going to go through any cutter nicely unless you've got probably an industrial guillotine. It certainly won't go through a paper trimmer. It'll just ruin the blade, and it's fairly easy to do it with scissors. So these are now coming in at different sizes and shapes, which is what I wanted. I don't want them too big. I think I'm going to take this one down as well because I want them in different sizes, so I don't want them to be too big. And obviously they're all attached to the acetate, so they are going to give a sort of a floating look, and in fact I think it might look quite good. So now I've cut these pieces up like this. It's going to be a bit difficult to attach them, but I'm sure we'll find a way. So I've taken a circle and I've taken it in a contrasting colour, but that will complement. So these are sort of blues and purples, and I thought I would do it with something that was a bit pinky. So what I want to do is I want to put these across like this. So I think I'm going to do them where they are. Yeah, I'm going to take them. The only thing is, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with, I'm going to have to use runner tape. And I'm just wondering whether, if I use the tape right the way across, whether it is going to. I'm going to do it on this little bit down here to just see what it looks like. Oh, actually, that's all right. I can do it in little pieces like this. So tape runner, and you're just going to do it across on this little bit like that, and hopefully that will be strong enough. So I'm going to start, whoops, I'm going to start in the middle, I think, and work my way out. So let's start it from about here and put it in like that. This one is a bit too big, so I'm leaving that one where it is. Then I think I'm going to do a little one. Now, do I want them the same place, or do I want them in different colours? Don't know. I don't know whether I want them exactly the same or not. I think I want them sort of mixed up. So can I do them a little bit mixed up or not? Probably not, actually, because I don't think it's going to work like that, because I've done them all the same way. So we are going to keep them the same way, but I'm trying to do them in different shapes each time. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue in on the top of where it's not going to show on the acetate. And then I can do exactly the same thing, and we're going to put this one in. Let's bring that down again. So this one is going to come in on here, like that. Then this is a little tiny one. I quite like the mixture of big and small. So let's have a look and see what this one will do. And I'm hoping there's enough. Yes, there is. It does seem quite sticky. So let's put this one in down on here. To do them fairly close together. Yeah, I think that'll work. As I say, I don't think I can get them so that they are in different ways. I could. Am I going to keep them all the same now I've started them, or shall I switch them up a bit? It's difficult to tell. No, I think I'm going to keep them the same because that's the way we've started it. So it's going to go the same for this one, although if I did it again, I would probably do it more random, because I like random rather than it being in a complete straight line. But because of the way it's going, I don't think I have a choice really. So these are coming, and you can see that they are sort of different sizes. Now I want another tiny one at the top because I've got quite a few very similar sizes. So let's do this one. This is going to be smaller, and as I say, I'm just doing a little bit of, you could put little pieces of acetate on if you wanted, little bits of foam pad if you wanted, but as I was saying to you, I'm trying to be a little bit more careful with using things that are, might have to put another bit of that on. That doesn't seem to have stuck very well. This might be quite interesting. Can I just turn it back up that way and just give a little bit of, I think so. That should be okay. Put that down. That looks better. Okay. take it up. Is that stuck down? No, it's not. Always get one, don't you? Right, let's get some more glue on here and just put it down so that it's now, with a bit of luck, when I come to cut this off, it's going to come better. I think it's just popping up because I've got it at a bit of an angle, but we'll see. I might have to do something with that one because I don't think that's sticking down very well. Now I want to get some more little ones. That's a nice little one here. So let's do that one. Put this along and say, hopefully, I think it should look all right. We'll have to see when we get to the end, won't we? But I think it will, apart from this one that's popping up, but I'm sure I'll find a way of sorting it out. So let's put this, now this is going to come off a bit now, isn't it? That's fine. Like that. Right, I am going to start just trimming these pieces off because I think that they're going to be too much otherwise. So I'm going to take this here and then I'm going to move them out of the way. Whoops. I'm hoping that this is going to have stuck down enough on there. Oh yeah, that's quite interesting, isn't it? So it comes off on the edge of there. I might have to have done them maybe a little bit smaller next time. So rather than doing 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch strips, doing maybe 1/4 or even an 1/8 of an inch strip, I think will work. Oh, this one's right at a jaunty angle, isn't it? Like that. Aha, that's now come off. So I need to do something with this, otherwise it is going to just disappear. I'm going to have to put this on with a bit of wet glue. And it might make a little bit of a mess on there, but with a bit of luck, it should just stick a bit better, I think. It might take a minute or two. A dimensional might have worked. Come on. It's probably saying to me, don't use the wet glue. It's not going to work. What can I use to put on? There's another little bit of wet glue here. Got different ones. Let me just have a look. Right, it's going to have wet glue. And I need to try and put that then so that it comes right down on this corner. Now, which was the bit that we just cut it up on like that, wasn't it? There. Was it? No, that's not right, is it? I was trying to work out, that's got to be round on the edge. It's got to be there, hasn't it? That's it. So take this up. And I think it's where the bottom piece is just not quite stuck down properly, but we'll try and get it in. On here a little bit. It's not and I think that's the thing when you're doing it on little pieces, it's probably not the easiest thing to do. Right, I'm going to stick that on like that. Take it like that and just leave it like that for a minute to just stick. So we've got to just finish these pieces off. Let's take these ones out of the way. You don't want too many sticky pieces. Now we've got this one. That's quite a big one, isn't it? I think that might be okay. What do I want? Yes, because I've got a little tiny one on there. So this has got to go in like that because we're up to there. That's good because that'll actually come right to the top. So I can take that one off here. Then I can take this glue, and hopefully my little piece down here is sticking, because it's easier to stick it with the wet glue for me. I need to turn this one round, put it on like this. So you could use some sort of tear and tape or something similar, but I think this is going to be, as we're getting to the top here, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but I think that this, with a bit of luck, is going to come, and that's going to come sort of over the edge like that. It's very difficult to get it up now because we're right at the edge. And then let's have the last one in on here. Now, do I do a big one again? I think I might, because I think if I do a big one, I'm then cutting it off at the edge so it looks a bit better, because this piece down there, it's not quite working on there. So this has got to be in on blue. So let me take, it's got to go on blue for about 3 or 4, hasn't it? So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think that's probably it on there. So let's stick this one in like that. Obviously it's not going to go down on there. Right, so this is where we've got to try and cut it off. And this is where I'm not sure how well it's going to work, because we've got quite a lot of height on this. So I'm actually going to cut it up. Yes, I've lost that bit completely. So it doesn't work very well when you're onto tiny pieces at the edge, but I think we might be able to work with it and just not have them with as much dimension. And that's because you can see on here I've just got a tiny little piece, and it's because it's then too small because we've got the cardboard underneath. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of something that'll work on there. So let's take that out of there. We've got a little piece just missing off of there. So I'm actually going to, let me find a piece that I've got that hasn't been. So this is my little scrap bag here, and I think I'm going to put a little piece. I've still got some of these strips, so I'm going to put a little strip of the purple, of the blue actually, just down on this corner. But I'm not going to, it's not going to be up on the acetate. I don't think it'll show that much being right down at the bottom, but I think just by doing that, it will then, let's make sure I've got glue up into that corner. Just by doing that there, it will stick in there perfectly, but it's not going to be at a different angle. And I think that's the thing, apart from it's going to fall off, isn't it? That's the thing I think that you have to be a little bit careful with this one, is to maybe not have it quite so high, because it's, take that, it's just a tiny little piece around the corner. So what I want to try and do is to just take it, right, once I've got it like that, I can then just trim it. And so that little piece is in, but it's not the same height, but I don't think it's going to matter that much. So we've now got this, which gives us that sort of height. It probably could have been done a little bit smaller, because this is a nice curve round here. I don't like this so much because you can't see very much of it. It almost needs something just right down on that corner, doesn't it? So what colour? It would be this dark purple, wouldn't it? So let's see if I've got another piece of the purple in on. I'm looking through this little bag here to see if I've got any of this purple. That's it, isn't it? Yes. So I'm actually going to cut a little strip. Doesn't need to be a big one. And it's only because, as I say, I don't like this at the corner on here. And then what I need to do is I just need to cut I'll have them that size, so we'll cut 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Don't think I need 4. I think 3 will probably be okay. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wet glue, and this is only because I want to be a little bit more precise, but I'm not going to take it up on the height. So let's just see. I don't know if I've got much. I think that one's coming to empty. Let's use this one. Take it there. Take it there. Take it there, so we can see where we want our little pieces to go. And then all I'm going to do is to just put them in like that. So as I say, they're not the same height, but I don't think it'll matter that much once the card's down. But it just gives that little edge piece, which if we haven't got it, it then just makes it look a little bit odd. So I'm hoping I can just trim that. I would, if I was doing it myself, I'd leave it just for a little second to dry, but I'm hoping that's fine. So that's just given that little edge piece. So let's see how that looks on a card blank. So I've just taken a little card blank. I thought we could put that in on there, and I'd probably take it at a bit of an angle actually. Let's take that one down at the bottom because then it's not going to show so much. Take it maybe at that sort of angle so it's floating a bit. Put that down at the bottom. Now what I want to do is I want to have this so that it's standing up as well. So we've got an extra bit of like layering onto it. What I could do as well is to put a board around it. I've got a larger, how big have I got on this? I think this was probably the largest one. Was that the largest one? No, it wasn't. I can get one up. That's going to come out onto the side. That's fine. I think it needs to have a mat on it. So I'm going to take this circle and I'm going to do it in, I'm not sure what colour to do it in actually. Probably a dark, either a very dark red or a dark blue, I think would probably work. Let me just have a look and see what I've got that I can use. That I haven't got put away. Oh dear. I'm going to have to just look at those things for a minute and pause the screen because I've just got to get some paper out and I've just Right, I'm going to have to wait to do this. So what I'm going to do is, hold on, I can't get up off the floor. I'm going to have to wait to do this because otherwise it's going to take too long. But what I'm going to do is, and you'll see it on the front, I'm going to take a darker border to go round, put this on, and then that will take it up. And I think it will work. I could always put some little twinklies on each one of these. I'm not sure, but I think if I put it onto a mat, take it up just a little bit, I think it'll work. So I'm going to leave it like that for you. It's a way of taking these pieces that we'd made a mess of, that we didn't like, and we're not throwing them away, we're doing something with them. I think I will probably as well maybe sponge around the edge, but I think that the mat will probably work on it better. So you'll see it on the front screen, and hopefully it'll give you the idea, and I'll put in the description of what I actually did for the mat to make it look a little bit better. So I hope you enjoyed it. As always, please stay safe and well, please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.